Previously on CCTV.
This is your note.
The lyrics violated their previous agreement that they would not insult each other in public.
Like they were dressed kind of gave like church ladies. Like
It's just Beyoncé.
Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
The group was ready to come together one more time in 2004. This time, all three members co-wrote the majority of the album and shared the lead vocals more evenly than they had in the past. They were inspired to write a concept album that would take you through a woman's relationship journey of excitement, heartbreak, and acceptance. We love that.
So the first single from the Destiny Fulfilled album was Lose My Breath, which marked a triumphant return for the group, featuring a music video where the members had dance battles with their doppelgangers. The song, much like their other singles, was a huge commercial success across the globe.
Yo, I remember seeing it on 106 in Park. For whatever reason, this video was like top tier editing at the time. It was so simple, but literally it was just a split screen, keep the camera in one spot, like switch it back and forth. You know, stuff we see now like on cell phone apps, right? But at the time, man, I remember, oh man, we were all excited for Michelle's bridge because she ate that up. We all knew that she was a bridge queen. When you ask for some, can't make me say ooh. If I say that to anyone right now, not anyone, but a certain kind of person right now, they would respond, when you ask for some, when you ain't really want none. You know what I'm saying? Or like when she does it live, when you ain't really want none. She gets like she was giving it to you. You can see her busting it. Like you can see her actual personality, like the little feistiness that she has through it. Like again, it was just so cool to watch this video, see this comeback. The video annoyed me a little bit because if I did this whole dance battle in the street with some disco girls, or like vice versa with some street hip hopping looking girls, and then all of a sudden these chinchilla coat fur wearing just wind your waist girls came out and they won the whole battle, I'd be mad. I'd be mad. Talk about some, you lose my breath, they just whine the whole time.
Yeah,
and then the song's over, and then all of a sudden the disco girls are mad and the street girls are mad. I was like, oh, and so many iconic moments in this video for sure. That like, you know, the breath. I remember dance crews like on 106 in Park for the Wild Out Wednesdays used to come out and with the dust. We're like, ah, like it brings like a lot of good memories. This song, it does. As you can see.
I mean, like you mentioned, can we just talk about the glow up that happened here? Like for all three of them. Like Kelly and Beyonce, you know, they were like Pikachu going to Raichu, you know, but Michelle was Pichu going straight to Raichu. She skipped her Pikachu era and she went straight to like mega pop star. You know, I guess with the bigger hair also came the confidence, the presence, the vocals. She can dance now. Like she was killing that choreography, like you said. Like just massive improvements. Like those performances, and even in the video with the fur coats, when they're just walking, like the presence is amazing. It's amazing to watch. And it's only a couple years later. It's not like they disappeared for 10 years, you know?
Yeah, true.
So this is insane. This is still one of the most exciting pop comebacks ever because it was just so satisfying where they truly leveled up. You know, a lot of these groups, sometimes they come back together and it's like, oh, no time has passed. In this case, time clearly had passed because they had all gone straight to the next level.
Yeah. It was,
a couple levels.
What a time.
The song, though, yes, the song is pop perfection. I love the drumline beat. The chorus is simple, but super, super catchy. And each member, I love Kelly's verse as well.
Yes.
It's so, so good. And can we talk about Destiny Fulfilled as well? What do you think of the album?
I was listening to R&B a lot at the time, like especially with 106 in Park feeding us the trends at the time. So I was just like, oh yeah, this is cool because it sounded like a very neo-soul. So I grew up with that kind of sound. This album fit into what I was listening to at the time and feeling. Like I didn't understand any of it whatsoever, but the whole feeling of what was happening in music, I felt naturally gravitated toward it. I liked it, like in terms of sound, like Bad Habit for me, I love because it's like you have Kelly singing lead, right? But she's also lead like, melody in the harmonies. So it's not just Beyonce being the melody and then the other girls tacking themselves on. It was Kelly's lead. And I was like, oh, I love that. Things like that. And I have a friend who's a B stan. Oh my God. And she used to sing Free to me all of the time. Shout out to Maya. But yeah, like Relentlessly is another song on this album that she loves too, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, oh my gosh. This song just kind of fit in with the whole neo-soul R&B situation. It was really mature, even though kids my age at the time, we didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Like the true appreciation didn't come until like, 20 something years old.
Totally. I mean, I'm only slightly older than you, and I also didn't understand the concept of this album either. Like I did not get that it was telling a story and that you had to listen to the whole thing in sequence. And it was like about this, very messy relationship and kind of this journey that Kelly's character that she was playing was going through. Like I was way too young to understand that. So I was actually disappointed by the full album when I was at that age, because you come with Lose My Breath, which is so fierce and so strong. And then the next single is also that. And then as you listen to the album, it stays very mid-tempo and kind of just very light. And then it ends on a very joyful, but also very just subtle note, So it's just kind of like the energy just kind of dies by the end of it. So
yeah, especially coming back from like Survivor and then before that, Writings on the Wall, where they had hit after hit after hit after hit.
So this just wasn't what I was expecting. And as a young kid, I also did not fully get it. But now that I'm older, I love this album. I think actually every song is so good on it, and they each really do add to the story. Like each song is fully intentional and plays a part. Even the B-side, Game Over, which was on the Lose My Breath single, like that's really strong as well. So yeah, they were definitely in a really good spot, like songwriting wise, for sure. And I love that all three of them played a more equal role across the whole thing. Like you said, Kelly got a whole song by herself, but it wasn't just Beyonce first verse, Kelly second verse, Michelle bridge. Like you actually had moments where they all sang different parts, or sang with each other, or sang over each other, and it was much more inclusive. Which made sense for sure.
And speaking of which, about keeping the momentum of singles, the second single was Soldier, featuring two of the hottest rappers at the time, T.I. and Lil Wayne.
If your status ain't hood, I ain't checking for 'em. Better be street if you're looking at me. I need a soldier that ain't scared to stand up for me. Known to carry big things, if you know what I mean.
And like Lose My Breath, it peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100.
I love how simple the production of Soldier is. Like it's just a beat and some little keyboard flourishes. Yeah,
that's very southern hip hop at the time. Like
it's
David
cool
Banner.
Though.
Yeah. That southern hip hop was really hot around this time because Lil Wayne's from New Orleans, T.I.'s ATL. Like David Banner was also really prevalent. Oh my God, the southern rapper wave was wild. Oh my God. So yeah, I think they were kind of clever with matching up like the girls who are like, kind of like pop icons with this hip hoppy sound.
And the vocals are so good on here. The melodies are really good. I love the little hooks in there. It's definitely one of their cooler songs across the discography. And again, a level up from them being the side chick for basically the first 2 albums. That now they're like, oh no, we know what we actually deserve and want in a relationship. And I love the video as well. I love that it's all black and white. It's super simple, but their presence is great. And I love Solange's little cameo with her pregnant belly at the time.
Yes. The southern hip hop production, I think that's what made a lot of non girl group fans like listen, because it was just like, okay, this sounds like a old school like trap beat, kind of like a southern hip hop. So without listening to it, without knowing that the girls did it, if a guy heard this song and heard like 2 of the hottest rappers at the time, you're introducing yourself to this whole like other like market, like new audience. I mean, Beyonce was already kind of linking up with Jay and Kelly with Nelly, so they already kind of had that pull. But T.I. and Lil Wayne were like hot stuff. So again, when you've made it that far in your career, you can ask anybody you want at that point to be on your songs, and they're gonna say yes. And I think it was really cool because we really hadn't heard like a real male feature from them as a group. Like Missy Elliott was a rapper feature here, sure, Timbaland, yeah, but Timbaland always kind of just plugs himself in. But everything else up until that point, there were no men. There was no men on Bills. There was no remix kind of hidden in the cut somewhere. It was like, no. And this one was like, What you gonna do for me? Well, I can do this for you, girl. Okay. You know, I love that. We love that part.
So the third single from the album was Girl, which was a pivotal moment in the album during which Beyoncé and Michelle comfort Kelly through her abusive relationship.
Girl, I can tell you've been crying and you're needing somebody to talk to. Girl, I can tell he's been lying and pretending that he's faithful and he loves you. Girl, you don't have to be hiding. Don't you be ashamed to say he hurt you. I'm your girl, you're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Without the context of knowing what Kelly was actually probably going through around the time, because she mentioned it in Dirty Laundry, she never gave a time frame of when it would have happened. But this was before she went to Europe and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure, like, just kind of not pretty sure, I'm guessing at this point, it could have been around the same time when she was singing this and like actually living it in the music video. So it's a little spooky. I do like the video though. And also the conversational nature of the song is really nice. Because I know if I sang it with my friend and her sister, we would all like sit there and, girl, you don't have to be, you know, like, it's very conversational. And I like that about the lyrics, that you can actually hear certain phrases or hear yourself saying some of the things that were being said, or like, you know, you don't have to hide from me. We've been friends for so long. Something's wrong with you. Tell me, you know, and it also is a testament to the relationship. So it's just a lot of layers of just connectivity going on here. And I like that.
Yeah, the whole kind of intervention aspect of the lyrics is really interesting. And they did a really good job with the vocal production on this, because Beyoncé and Michelle really do sound so warm and friendly on it. Like, they really are just concerned about their friend, right? And then you can hear the frustration in Kelly's verse as well. Like, the whole thing is done really, really well. And I love Beyonce's super extra ad-libs all throughout it, because they're different lyrics from the rest of the song. And it's just more like reassurance that she's like there for Kelly. And again, they're super, super extra, but they're great. And yeah, the Sex and the City parody was smart as well. Yes, so the final single from the album was Cater to You, which is a song about one's love and devotion to her man. And this song has since faced some backlash for the subservient lyrics.
Let me cater to you, 'cause baby, this is your day. Do anything for my man, baby, you blow me away. I got your slippers, your dinner, your dessert, and so much more. Anything you want, let me cater to you.
We should note, though, that Cater to You was actually a big hit as well. So all of these songs have continued the trend of this massive success and really have solidified Destiny's Child and their legacy for sure. But yes, Cater to You. What do you think?
It's interesting because I am a girl power kind of woman. I would say that. I like to think I am. But I very much like the song. Even as an older girl, I like it. I get the whole submissive thing like a little bit, right? Like when you have someone that makes you feel safe enough to follow their lead, this is kind of like the result of it, because you don't have to be like, I have to, you know, so I have to stand up for myself. I can, as people say, I don't have to be in my masculine energy. But it's true. When you feel comfortable enough with someone, that's the thing. That's the buzzword, masculine energy, my feminine energy. But it's true. When you don't feel like you have to constantly be like assertive and you let someone else do it, it feels so good. Because me, when I'm in like a healthy situation or a good situation, I'm very much, sure, whatever you want. But I do have to say, second verse I can't stand, because Kelly's verse is the absolute worst on here. Like, oh, I'll make sure I stay skinny for you, daddy. I'll make sure, blah, blah. And if I'm sleeping, wake me up. No. You're crazy, out of your damn mind. Like, okay, here's the thing now. I get that if she was like, oh yeah, you know, turn me over later if you want to, like, you know, when you get home from work, like there's a conversation that you've had. But don't let this be a precedent. No. So I appreciate that the fact in the chorus, you know, because baby, this is your day, meaning this is a one night thing, one night only.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. In the context of the album, the song does make total sense, kind of, because it's kind of near the beginning, right? So it's near the beginning of the relationship. You're in the honeymoon phase, and it's like, oh my God, like I'll do anything for you kind of thing, right? And I love the melody of the song. Yeah. But I think what it is you just released a few years ago Independent Woman and Survivor and I don't know, like all these girl power anthems. And then now you have a song where you're literally singing, let me serve you, I am your servant. I will say, though, they look beautiful in the music video. The choreo is nice. It's very elegant, like they're goddesses. Love the BET Awards performance, the extended version, like all those extra harmonies and lines that they use while the three men are getting ready to sit. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Also, shout out to this acoustic version that they actually performed one time from what I could find on YouTube. Because, we haven't talked about too much about like their performance style, but they tended to lip sync the choruses, and a lot of the backing vocals as well tended to be really reliant on the backing track. So there would only be a few select moments in their concerts that you'd actually get true harmonies.
Yeah.
And so to hear them just do a song completely live without any track at all is quite refreshing. So definitely go check that out. It's linked in the description.
Yeah, so moving on, during the massive world tour Destiny fulfilled and loving it, the members announced in June 2005 at their Barcelona tour date that they had decided to retire the group and that they felt that the destiny of the group had been fulfilled. The group released the greatest hit album, Number Ones, in October 2005 to celebrate the group's success, and it included the single Stand Up for Love, which also served as the 2005 World Children's Day anthem.
If we all stand together this one time, then no one will get left behind. Stand up for life.
We love a cheesy farewell song, right? It's all the performances of this remind me of the end of Dreamgirls, It's time to say goodbye,
my love.
Yeah. But yeah, the song is beautiful. It's a tad generic. I don't think they wrote this one, right? And you can kind of tell it's a very kind of generic power ballad, but the vocals are so good. The way they built the harmonies throughout the song is so satisfying. And that final build with Michelle's verse and then them all like singing the chorus together is so beautiful. So as a goodbye song, I appreciate it. For a charity song, I appreciate it, but definitely not a favorite Destiny's Child song.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to pretend like this was like, oh wow, this is going to knock emotions out the water. No.
Yeah.
This song, honestly, Beyonce and them were in their sponsorship bag. I remember around this time, Beyonce had sponsorships left and right. Like it was like McDonald's, Nintendo DS, DirecTV. Later
L'Oreal
on,
was a big one,
L'Oreal,
right?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I remember the controversy with that one. Woo boy. But yeah, L'Oreal, she was everywhere, right? So this whole Children's Day anthem, I get it has a deep meaning. I get it. But also very smart. Very smart. You immortalize the song with something very meaningful, Again, like I said, I remember the deep meaning, but I remember the deals as well. And I think she was working on Dreamgirls around this time now. So like the whole
I think we were about to get there. Yeah.
So she probably already had that because the song of it sounds like everyone has their own special dream. Like it sounds like legit the title song. Dream. It sounds like that a little bit in the beginning, and toward the end, it gets a little gospel-y. Like the doom doom. If we can get on this, I legit sing Michelle's part all the time. Like I legit right here, right now. Yeah, like. But yeah, her part is like the best part. The song is good, but again, it's like you said, it's not like whoa.
So, following the end of the Destiny Fulfilled and Lovin' It tour and a few final performances in 2006, including an amazing rendition of the Star Spangled Banner at the NBA All-Star Game in 2006, the group has periodically reunited and have shown that their friendship still remains very strong. And as you mentioned earlier, all the members, including Beyonce, are actually no longer managed by Matthew.
I wonder why.
It's so interesting because, we can get more into this when we talk about their solo careers in a different episode, but he talks about Kelly and Michelle's solo careers, and he's like, I don't know why Kelly, tried to make it in the U.S. when she was bigger in the other countries. I don't know why Michelle wanted to do a dance album when that wasn't her bag. I was like, they just let them be creative, sir.
It's one of those I know best kind of things. I get it. You were successful with the one group, but subsequent groups like Bliss or Blush, whatever the hell he was trying to do.
I forgot about those.
I did not. It was terrible.
Well, here's the thing. It's also, I think he's so business oriented and not a creative person. So he's just thinking about what could give you the most success without also taking into account the actual creative endeavor and the creative desires of the group.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Beyonce, she doesn't care about being commercially successful anymore as much.
Right.
Right. So it makes sense that maybe Matthew was no longer right for her career. So
yeah, I think it was around the 4 album, which is crazy because it's like you dump your dad as a manager for the 4 album. The 4 album is not the biggest album you've had, and it's like what went into the album. Like I want to know so badly. I mean, the album wasn't bad. I don't know. The album wasn't bad. It's really good. A lot of her good songs are on the album, and it's just like, what the heck happened? Was it because Matthew wasn't there? Like it's all the jokes I've made about him, not even joke, but all the things I've said about him being his MO and all this crap like that. He is very business minded, very Joe Jackson-esque. Because no matter what you said or what not you, but like what you say or like anybody else says about their father, the Jacksons will always say, Joseph, I'm here because of Joseph. I'm here because of father, right? So it's like same thing with the rest of them. It's like, you know, say what you want to say, but they got as far as they did because Mr. Knowles was very determined.
Yes.
Even at the price of other people's kind of feelings, but he was very determined. But luckily, the girls all seem to have a really good relationship, even with Matthew, like not as a part of their whole thing. It's still good. They can actually meet up and like do collaborative things. Like for example, Kelly and Michelle have appeared in a few of Beyonce's videos, including Get Me Bodied and also Superpower and Grown Woman. We've also gotten a few new songs featuring all 3 members, with Michelle's gospel anthem, Say Yes. And Kelly also featured the other 2 on her album track, You Changed. And in 2013, to coincide with the release of the new Destiny Child compilation album, Love Songs, the group recorded a new song, Nuclear, produced by Pharrell Williams.
Yeah, Nuclear was a very disappointing, though. That song is not memorable at all.
Nuclear, how do you put that in the dang chorus? Nuclear with you here. No, it's like you're trying to force it in. No, I can't. The production's really cute though. Like it's giving early, you know, No Tears Left to Cry, but it's still cute.
We did get some fun performances as well. First, they performed Survivor at the Beyoncé Experience tour stop in LA in 2007. Then in 2013, Kelly and Michelle were special guests for Beyoncé's legendary Super Bowl halftime show. Oh my gosh, we watched that so many times together, and I continue to just watch it all the time. Like that's just ingrained in my brain now for sure.
Yeah.
And then in 2015, Beyoncé and Kelly were Michelle's special guests at the Stellar Awards for her performance of Say Yes.
They call Beyonce's African dancing. Jesus say yes. She was doing the most. I cannot.
And most recently, as of this filming of this episode, in 2018, Beyoncé included a Destiny's Child little moment in her homecoming concert at the Coachella Music Festival.
Yes. Oh, that was great. Oh my goodness. You know, they looked great. I remember what came out of those, like the memes that came out of it, like like Michelle like booty popping. Michelle's not much of a booty popper,
no.
But there's a part that came out, they were like doom, 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 doom. And everyone doom, doom. And they played her. I was like, I'm gonna leave Michelle alone. I mentioned that because that got brought up a lot. And in the Netflix version of the Homecoming, that part's edited out so Michelle doesn't look bad. And again, it goes into what I was like saying, like whatever I was saying, like, oh, Matthew. It didn't reflect what Beyonce may have been feeling at the time. So I appreciate every huge moment in her life. She's brought these girls along, you know? And this is not about her, but she remembers where she's come from without being like, well, y'all were a stepping stone. So that's why I really appreciate what she's done. And I think all the times they've met up, the arrangements have been a little bit different. Some of it has been classic, like the Survivor, like getting sped up 5,000 times. That'll never get old to me, right? But then they'll do fun little things, and she'll let them sing Single Lady verses, or she'll let them sing parts of her song, let them take the middle part. On occasion, she gives the whole "get back to your spot" look, but aside from that, like she really incorporates them really well in her life now, and they all talk about each other so fondly, which I appreciate, because you can tell like whatever happened business wise, whatever was said between them, they understood what it was really about. Like, hey, listen, it's not because I want this to happen to us, but it is happening. You know, I don't know what was said, but it gives that kind of feeling where the air has been cleared, or if something ever has come up, they discussed it.
The friendship transcends all the business dealings for sure, which is great. Yeah, it's interesting looking at this list of reunions because it does actually feel very well planned. Like they give us just enough to kind of keep the fans fed and keep the excitement there, but we still want more. right?
Yeah.
And it's and the buzz is always so good. Like the buzz before the Super Bowl performance, because everyone knew it. Everyone knew that they were gonna that Kelly and Michelle were going to come out, but of course they were like, "No, we're not in it," like in all the interviews. And then Coachella, that Coachella set, it made me yearn for a full reunion tour. Like they added so many extra harmonies. The way they used the Say My Name remix as a little transition into Soldier.
Yeah.
Like Beyonce's tour arrangements, they have just gotten better and better through time. Like the way she interpolates her own songs and the way she transitions and the way she uses samples, and her band is like powerhouses, and there's horns and there's strings, and it's just insane. Like, can you imagine her taking everything she's learned and applying that to like Destiny's Child's full discography?
Yeah.
It needs to happen, please, universe.
I'm crying.
Please. Yes. But yeah, I'm very curious kind of what they do next. Like, I wonder if we will ever get another studio album or more songs or anything, or if we're still just going to keep getting these little reunions every once in a while. They're all in a very different place in their lives.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There's always rumors, and the three of them never really acknowledge those rumors. So
it's a tough call. It's a tough call. I mean, like, they could say, yeah, let's do it. And then something happens, like Kelly has another kid or something. Like she has her kids, if I'm not mistaken. Michelle does not. I think she's actually like, she was on a show with some guy that she was dating at one point, some guy named Chad. But like, like you said, different parts. And then Beyonce is now doing Renaissance and is actually going on tour, but has promised two more albums of that. So what does that look like for her in the next X amount? Like, let's just say 5 years. The next 4 or 5 years, like that. Hey, if you are a Beyonce fan, a Kelly fan, a Michelle fan, if you're an OG4 fan, DC4 fan, let us know what you guys expect. Maybe a full-on reunion. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but fans keep saying, "Oh my God, maybe
like
Latoya."
the 5. Yeah.
Oh, like maybe they can all nah, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It is nice though, having seen. I think Latoya and Michelle have taken some photos together on like a red carpet and stuff. So it's nice to see everything's water under the bridge, even between the former members as well. So that's good to see. But yeah, I don't see Latoya and Latavia ever being included in any sort of reunion. That'd be crazy. Can you imagine?
That'd be wild. Yeah, no.
And that I feel like that would also kind of diminish some of Michelle's contributions as well.
Yeah, it would. It's so weird. Like I said, the whole thing is strange. Like with the Sugar Babe fans, you have fans like, we want the OG3, even though one member was with them for like several albums, So again, if you don't know who the Sugar Babes are, definitely check out our Pop 101 of the Sugar Babes featured on our Pop 101 series here on the channel. But I think we are ready to talk about our favorite songs, though. We talked about a lot of the singles, but we got to talk about some discography highlights. So if you're a fan, definitely drop yours in the comments below and let us know what your favorite B-sides are, okay?
So first up for our recommendations, we have CCTV crew member Emily, and she recommends Dangerously in Love from the Survivor album. Yeah, so this one's an interesting choice because Beyonce would eventually re-record the song for her debut solo album and even name her album after this song. So a lot of people don't actually know that the first version is actually a Destiny's Child song. But yes, Emily says that the group version is classic R&B. She loves the feels and the emotions in there, and it's a great song to sing along to or at karaoke whenever you need a song to belt. And the 5-minute ending that she does on
the
concert.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. But yes, another CCTV listener, Maya, the one I mentioned earlier, actually recommends T-shirt from the Destiny Fulfilled album. She loves the grown woman quality of it, and she also agrees with you in the slot of the album, like being in the sequence of the album, just makes sense. It just feels good. The whole album, as she said, is, and I quote, a vibe.
I do love how delicate the vocals are in T-shirt. Yeah, it's a nice switch up from kind of the power vocal that Beyoncé is known for.
Oh my God.
Yes. So our next viewer recommendation is from Yashni, who also wanted to recommend a song, and she chose Temptation from the Writings on the Wall album.
I know you see me watching you, and I see you watching me. 'Cause boy, your body's calling me. Temptation is killing me. I know you see me watching you, and I see you watching me. 'Cause boy, your body's calling me. Temptation is killing me.
She says that as a young kid, she had no idea what this song was about, but she loves the seductive groove of it, and Beyoncé's vocal styling in it is quite unique and different from the other Destiny's Child songs.
You know, I agree with her. If you get past the lyrics, it's actually a really good top line. Like, it's not.
I love how low it is, too. Yes, it's just too bad that the lyrics are, again, about infidelity. Yeah.
Not great.
All right, so now it's time for my choice. And I choose Free from Destiny Fulfilled.
I'm feeling like being free. I'm like an eagle set free. Finally, I'm looking out for me. I'm feeling like being free. 'Cause my mind's made up and my heart is in the right place. Yeah.
So I love Free, and you mentioned it earlier. It's so fun to sing along to that chorus because it just feels so light.
Mhm.
Like it genuinely feels like, and part of where it is in the album as well, like they're finally kind of over the situation and they're ready to
Mhm.
move on. And you can
Mhm.
really feel that. And it has this kind of like 60s, 70s hippie vibe with like the
Yeah.
soul and funk influences. So yeah, one of the highlights for sure. And again, very different from the stuff we had heard from the group prior to that.
My pick is going to be Where'd You Go from the Writings on the Wall album.
Where did you go? I don't know. I know that I need you in this heart of mine. So baby, please come back to me. I know I can't live my life without you.
I enjoy this song because of the cadence, and the instrumental is definitely my favorite in terms of like that old school like Y2K style. And even though the producer is not my favorite person, Chris Stokes is a great producer, and that style, the way the drums are kind of syncopated, the guitar, all these kinds of things, you hear it in groups now to this day. Like before, it was like he did it with Immature, was one of his first groups, and then like B2K, and then obviously with other groups and other singers, but you hear it in Flo's music now, even with the song Feature Me. So that style that you guys were like, oh my God, what is that? I like it so much. Sounds like Y2K. It is technically Chris Stokes' style. I cannot stand this man because what he's done to Raz B, but allegedly. But I do like the style of music that was spawned because of his own creativity. So yeah.
Nice. Good choice. And there's so many other ones that we could have chosen too. Their discography is so strong.
Yeah, it is. And it sucks because like the song I just mentioned, you hear Latavia sing like the first little Where Did You Go? And it's the only time you ever get to hear this girl. You know, again, they had so many different tones in this group, and I wish they would have utilized it more. I feel like that's one of the biggest flaws with this group. Like they had so many different tones and they didn't utilize it more. Like, yeah, they may have been okay doing background, but if you have no one telling you that you can do more, you probably won't believe that you can do more until you get the opportunity to do it. And I wish the girls would have had a little bit more, because man, it would just added so much, sabor, like a lot of flavor, to the whole overall sound of the group. But it's all good. Still good songs.
All right. So with that, class is dismissed. All right, so CCTV crew, what do you all think about Destiny's Child and all the different aspects of this group that we've discussed in this episode? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below or message us at CCTV Pops on all social media. Hang out with us and the crew on Patreon. You get priority choice to decide our next episode topics and also which artists we feature on the Pop 101 series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show on a podcast platform, please give us a follow, rating, and review. Until next time, that's Shan.
That's good.
And we're signing off from CCTV, the nonstop pop show.